Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Nick and welcome back to the Nick and Doug Express, where I like to express my opinions on a variety of different topics. In today's video, I want to do something a little bit different and rank the Shrek film franchise from worst movie to best movie, just because I watched Austin Powers not too long ago. If you have been on this channel, you've seen that I ranked those movies, and so since Mike Myers is in those movies and I watched those for the first time, I really wanted to go back and watch Shrek because a lot of those voices were like kind of similar, and I just was like, I need to rewatch Shrek because it's Shrek. So I've been watching a lot of stuff because it's summertime, so I thought I'd just do this video. And if you like rankings, please express your Shrek ranking list in the comment section. Express your opinion. I want to hear all about it. And without further ado, let's get in this list. So coming in at the bottom, number 5, because I did put Puss in Boots in this ranking. Number 5 is Shrek 4. Now, Shrek 4, it's like, I enjoy it. It's fine. It's not obviously the best Shrek, as I put it in last place, but there's themes and like plot threads you can enjoy. It does tie back a lot to the first movie, so there's elements of it I really do like, and obviously the voice acting, the animation, because it's the last one, so you would think by 2010 they know how to do the animation. It's just, at the end of the day, the whole Rumpelstiltskin plot idea and just trying to like take it for himself, it feels so over the top, overhanded when we've just been watching Shrek this entire time, and then you introduce this new character that like he's been here, and like, yeah, he makes sense to the world, but just, it's supposed to be about Shrek, and even though it is, and him exploring this alternate timeline now, I don't like the whole Rumpelstiltskin thing. Like as a kid I thought it was fine, like it's just mindless entertainment, but growing up, as you can really just enjoy the first couple of Shreks, but this one, it's just like, yeah, maybe I would watch it with my kid, but it's not like something I'm like, oh yeah, Shrek 4, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, alright, just, it's not horrible, but it's honestly, I probably would not want to rewatch it just because it's not that definitive Shrek movie that I'm like, Shrek. But it comes in at 5. Number 4 is Puss in Boots. Now this one, I really debated putting in the list because I totally kind of forgot about it when I was rewatching these movies, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a Puss in Boots movie. I guess I should watch this and review it. So I did. I watched it, reviewed it, or I watched it and I'm reviewing it in this video. It's definitely more entertaining than, Shrek 4 and maybe even Shrek 3 in its own right, but I just put it at 4 because it's not the Shrek movie. Shrek's not in it, and it's just a spin-off. So, and much as I enjoy the Puss in Boots character, it's not something that I was like, oh, this is something I actually need. And it's, it's an animated movie, obviously, so it's for kids. So, I mean, if it's something you like, if you like that character a lot, because I do like Puss in Boots a lot in the Shrek franchise, but it's just like not something I entirely needed in his own movie, but it's enjoyable. They do a lot of those, jokes of just bringing in those other characters like Humpty Dumpty, and just doing things that we have all heard about, putting into a cartoon format for us to see, and him exploring like Jack and the Beanstalk characters, like stuff like that. Like it's enjoyable in its own right. I mean, I could probably watch it again, but again, it feels more aimed to kids. I mean, even though there's like some kind of innuendo type of jokes in there here and there, but I mean, Shrek's always kind of been like that, so it makes sense they would put that in Puss in Boots. But it's definitely better than Shrek 4. I could rewatch it. It's not like that cringe or like, oh, I hate this or anything like that, but at the end of the day, it's just a spin-off movie that I would rather watch Shrek than Puss in Boots. Coming in at number 3 is Shrek 3. So basically, this one is, in my opinion, better than Puss in Boots and Shrek 4. I just find it more entertaining to watch, more rewatch value, even though I think it's a bit of a departure from the first two, and definitely does not have the same sense of like just following that story thread. And you would feel like the first two being really just solid like films in themselves, you would think they would want to end this trilogy, or obviously it doesn't become a trilogy, but you would think at this point, making the third one, they have this trilogy be a high send point. And I guess when the first Shrek set such a high bar, it's hard to kind of do that, because you got Prince Charming trying to avenge his mother, then you got Shrek leaving because he needs to get the he needs the heir, the actual other heir to the throne to come in, played by Justin Timberlake. And it's just like, and then just the whole reasoning, I guess, for like why Shrek doesn't want to be the heir. And it's just like, these first two movies kind of feel like they kind of set you up for him doing that, and then he just can't handle any of this stuff, and just starts to become like a weird comedy where he's like, obviously he's an ogre, but it felt more like realistic in the world they set. And then they start kind of making these goofy tropes of him not being able to do this, he can't do that, he can't put on the shoe right, and he's making a fool of himself. And like, I guess I could see where they would think that would make sense, but to me that just falls flat, because I would rather have Shrek stay the more stable type of character he was made to be, and not kind of have this give up sense of attitude. But I still enjoy the adventure he does to find him, and then they kind of have this development of growing. It's just another kind of thing where, like Rumpelstiltskin, where they have to bring this new plot thread of this one character, and it's like revolving around the movie. At least I enjoy that character more than Rumpelstiltskin. But at the end of the day, I would still rewatch this one. But like, if I'm gonna pick the Shrek to watch, it's definitely gonna be the first two, then the third one. So comes in number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the original Shrek. Now, I don't know how much of a surprise that's going to be to a lot of you, or how divisive that's going to be, but I really thought about it, and I love Shrek. And like, these top two, they're basically like perfect in my opinion. But it only comes in at number 2, the original one, because I'll talk about it when I get to my number 1, but number 2, being the original, I just think has more of the setting up, and I love the setup because it's just such a different concept, and they did it perfectly. It's learning about an ogre, overcoming all these, obstacles that he's lived with in his life, getting an actual kind of happy ending with this other princess that has this condition, and it plays on that Disney trope, and it does all these things so perfectly, and I love it, and I love the original Shrek so much. It's just, I only put it at number 2 because it's the setup for what Shrek 2 becomes, and I love seeing that setup happen. And as much as I love Shrek the original as a whole, and the characters that it sets up like Donkey and just all of them, and it's just really hard for me to rank it. But at the end of the day, as perfect as the original Shrek is to me, Shrek 2 comes in at number 1, and it being number 1, Shrek 2, I just love them doubling down on everything the first Shrek did. Yeah, it's not setting up anymore because we learn about these characters, but now we're pushing them in new directions, and unlike 3 and 4, Shrek 2 does the characters justices from the first one and puts them in places that make a lot more sense, and still in the reality of what Shrek was made in the first one. So it really just does everything more perfect, and as perfect, I guess. So it just doubles down on it, and I think I just like it more because of everything else that comes together. All the characters, the whole gingerbread plot, and just everything about the fairy godmother and Prince Charming, and then having to basically find himself more because he gets to be human for a part. They just do a bunch of different things that I like, and how everything is just making Shrek feel like he's not, I guess, worthy in a way, if that would be the right term. And so he has to prove himself, and he does that, and he wins, and just all those characters coming together, so many great jokes. It just doubles down on everything, and I would totally rewatch the first movie. I would rewatch it again and again, but the second one is just that one where I'm like, I just love watching Shrek 2 because it just, for that fantasy world they set up, it just does it great. And again, just kind of playing on that Disney trope of like princesses and just fairy tales, and they're, you know, supposed to get married, so Prince Charming like wants to stop it, but he realizes like what's going on, and so there's so many just great things, and just having that ending of them all coming together, Shrek's friends, everything that's been built up in the first one, the second one, taking them over and saying how he doesn't need to be human. Like, it was great when he was, and that's what she wanted, but when they got together, they ended up saying, let's stay ogre together. And just meaningful things, and a lot of the plots are just coming all together at the end of the second movie, and it just, the third and fourth one just don't do that for me. The third one doesn't have that, like, we're all coming together, we've all, like, had to grow. Like, they grow, it's just mostly Shrek growing with, like, his inner self, and just the second one just has so much more rewatch value in my opinion, and it's, to me, the definitive Shrek. I mean, obviously without the first one you wouldn't have the second one, but I just, my personal choice, loved the second one the most. Put it on as many times as I could, because Shrek 2 be awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed my list, or at least the video of me ranking my Shrek list, Shrek movie list, man. And if you have your list or your ranking, please put it down in the comments. I want to hear you express yourself, because I want to hear your opinions about Shrek, and if I should do other DreamWorks animated movies. I mean, I grew up with DreamWorks movies like Shark Tale, Madagascar, and I guess How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, and just a bunch of different things. So if you want to see more videos of me talking about the DreamWorks movies, or just anything else relating to animation, just put it down in the comments, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.